What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today on Weekly Heat we talk about why StockX is taking so long to ship, the brand new Yeezy colorways that were just leaked, and we finally got the release date for the Air Jordan 1 Dior. So subscribe if you haven't yet, and make sure to buckle up because I just got a dope new light, and it can change colors. Yeah. Okay, it can't apparently while I'm filming, but that's fine. Haha, got it. Figured it out. Perfect, because we're talking about StockX. So over the last couple months, most likely corresponding with the pandemic, StockX has been taking much longer to ship than usual. In fact, it's gone from being about a standard 2-week period from when you buy the shoes to when you receive them, to in some cases being up to 2 months, which is actually something I've experienced myself. In fact, I don't know if you guys remember from last week's Weekly Heat, but I mentioned that I was picking up a pair of Space Hippies from StockX. Yeah, I still don't have them yet. And for some reason I hadn't learned because a couple months ago I had actually ordered a pair of Royal Toes off StockX like 2 weeks before they released. And I didn't actually end up receiving that pair until 2 weeks after they released. In most ways, I would assume that this isn't actually StockX's fault. In fact, I can almost guarantee they're working with a smaller workforce than they usually have. And that of course is due to the pandemic, which is also causing shipping delays and slowing down the process even more. What it seems like is that StockX is getting the same amount of orders as usual, but they have less people to fulfill those orders, and because of that, it's slowing everything down. And I also wouldn't be surprised if that was the case with GOAT as well, but for me personally, I haven't experienced any delays when it comes to GOAT, and I've gotten my shoes pretty much on time from them, so I've been kind of sticking with them over StockX for the last couple months. Regardless, all we can really do when it comes to these companies right now is just hope that things get back to normal sooner than later, and until then, just be careful when you're buying sneakers online because you never know how long it's going to take for your shoes to get to you. Okay, now that that story's done, we're going to attempt to change the lights again. Next up, Nike has just released images of an upcoming Blazer Mid in a bleached tie-dye colorway. This shoe is perfect for summer, and it definitely goes well with the upcoming women's Air Jordan 1 tie-dye. And actually, to be honest with you, I think I like it more. The upper of this shoe is covered in canvas and features a bleached blue and white tie-dye look. And accenting the blue and white tie-dye, you've also got a bright red Nike swoosh, which I think pulls the entire shoe together. Now, unfortunately, there isn't any release date for this sneaker yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it released around the same time as the women's Air Jordan 1 tie-dye because it seems like it's in the same pack. It's definitely a dope sneaker, and while it might not be as hyped as the tie-dye ones, I think it's better. After that, leaks seem to have verified that the Nike Dunk High Pro Green is returning in 2021. Apparently Virgil Abloh was hunting for a pair of these before he released his own pair of off-white Nike Dunks, and knowing that, it makes it a lot more obvious where Virgil got his inspiration for the pine green colorway. This Nike Dunk High features a forest green and white leather makeup, and in my opinion is one of the cleaner colorways on the silhouette. There aren't any images of this shoe as of yet, of course, because the shoe is over a year out. This is just a mock-up of what the sneaker will probably look like, but if you are trying to grab a pair of these, they should release sometime in 2021 for a retail price of $110. Continuing on, we've got another sneaker that's apparently set to release in early 2021, and that's the Air Jordan 13 Starfish. This mock-up was created by Sneaker Files and Z Sneakerhead Z based on the leaked colorway, but there is no way to know for sure if this is exactly what it's going to look like. Their mock-ups are usually on point though, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is pretty close to what the shoe will look like. Based on the mock-up, it looks like this Air Jordan 13 will come in white leather accented by orange suede around the heel. And as far as Air Jordan 13s go, it's pretty clean. It's not exactly my thing, but might be something that you like. So if you're trying to grab a pair of the Air Jordan 13 in the Starfish colorway, the tentative release date is January 2nd, 2021 for a retail price of $190. Based on another leak from Z Sneakerhead Z and Mr. Unloved Ones, it looks like we're getting a pair of the Air Jordan 11 Low IEs in black cement. The IEs were the original Air Jordan 11 Lows and feature elephant print around the upper as well as some cutouts that increase airflow. The overall shape of the shoe and the midsole tooling remains pretty much the same as your standard Air Jordan 11 Lows, and if you like the way the IE looks, you're probably going to dig this black cement colorway. And as of right now, the Air Jordan 11 Low IE black cement has a tentative release date of July 9th for a retail price of $170. Moving on, we've got our first look of a brand new Adidas Yeezy 700 V3 colorway, the Azareth. Recently, Kanye has been naming all his Yeezy sneakers after biblical names, and this shoe is no different. However, unlike a lot of his more recent Yeezys, it looks like the Azareth colorway comes in primarily blue. And I think it's a pretty nice colorway. It's definitely a lot less monochromatic than any of the previous 700 V3s, but I think that's a good thing. The upper of the Azareth comes in 2 different tones of blue accented by gray and black. And also, being a 700 V3, it still features that semi-translucent rubber-like cage around most of the upper. However, the midsole and outsole kind of change things up by coming in a light sail or sort of creamy white color. And I gotta say, I kind of dig this playful Yeezy 700 look. If you're planning to grab a pair of these, or any 700 V3 for that matter, make sure to go up half a size because this shoe fits very small. And as of right now, the Yeezy 700 V3 Azareth is set to drop sometime in August of this year for a retail price of $200. One of the biggest changes between the Yeezy 700 V1 and V2 to the V3 is that this shoe no longer features boost in the midsole. They decided to replace the boost with a much more stiff foam, which unfortunately makes the shoe less comfortable. However, it does seem to drop the price of the shoe from $300 to $200. So at the end of the day, it does kind of seem like removing the boost is a good thing. Following that up, we've got another upcoming pair of Yeezys, this time around in the way of the Yeezy 380 Boost Lament. LMNT, I'm not sure. Not 100% sure, don't know what it means. I don't think it's a biblical name like the last one. So this is one of the first Yeezy colorways to release this year that I've not been too stoked on. This colorway just seems so out of left field. It actually reminds me a lot of the Blue Oat colorway. Not so much in the colors used, but in the amount that I like it, which is very little. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the shoe. The colorway is just weird, and I don't know when I would ever wear it. The upper of the shoe is primarily covered in brown and darker brown prime knit, which is accented by sort of a neon green or yellow colored midfoot stripe. Then just below that, the midsole comes in a tan color, which is rounded off by an orange outsole. I know, where did that come from? I don't know. The Yeezy 380 silhouette itself is a solid sneaker. It's insanely comfortable. It's much more comfortable than the 350, at least in my opinion, and the boost that they put in the shoe just make this shoe feel like you're walking on clouds. I love it. But there have not been too many good colorways of this shoe. I think the Alien colorway has been the only one that I would actually buy. I don't know what it is about the 380 that seems to attract these terrible colorways. I don't know if it's the fact that this shoe has a very organic look, and because of that, they're not afraid to experiment with the colorways, but whatever it is, stop it. Please stop it. I don't know, maybe I'm alone in this, maybe I'm the only person who feels this way, but seeing people's reaction on Twitter just makes me think that I'm not. The Adidas Yeezy 380 Lamente, or LMNTE, releases sometime in the fall for a retail price of $230. And to be honest with you, I just don't see anyone really picking up this colorway, and we've seen 380s sit before, so I feel like this is going to be another one of those sneakers that's just not going to move. And finishing off the Yeezy news for today, just a quick reminder, the Yeezy Quantum Barium is releasing this Thursday, June 25th, so if you guys want to grab a pair for yourself, they release on adidas.com/Yeezy, also on Yeezy Supply, and a couple other stores. I'm actually going to be doing a live cop live stream in the morning, so if you guys would like to see me try and grab a pair and see how difficult it actually is, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get notified as soon as I go live. Next up, we've got more images of the Nike Dunk Low Grateful Dead. There are 3 colorways releasing as part of the Grateful Dead Bears pack, which is styled after the classic 2006 3 Bears SB pack. The colorways include a green and blue pair, an orange and green pair, and a yellow and light blue pair. And all these pairs are very hairy, as you would expect from a Bears themed sneaker. Each one of these Grateful Dead Nike Dunk SB lows feature a bear holding the Nike swoosh on the tongue, as well as a jagged Nike swoosh on the side of the shoe. And again, lots of fur. If you're into fur, this is your shoe. Of course, being a Grateful Dead themed sneaker, there's a stash pocket on the back of the tongue if you want to hide your valuables. As of right now, there is no official release date for this collaboration. However, it is assumed that they will release in the summer, and I've heard the date June 27th thrown around a little bit. The retail price of each one of these sneakers is set at $110, and expect these pairs to drop primarily at skate shops, which means it'll be pretty hard to get. After that, we've got one of my most anticipated releases with the Air Jordan 1 High Biohack. We've finally started to get actual images of the shoe, and it looks like this sneaker also finally has a release date. The Air Jordan 1 Biohack seems to be a mashup Air Jordan 1 and features a ton of different materials as well as a ton of different colors. The front half of the shoe features a dark navy mudguard surrounding a lighter blue toe panel, which of course features perforations. The midfoot panel of the shoe comes in black, accented by a metallic silver Nike swoosh, and the heel of the shoe comes in a brown suede, which is very reminiscent of the Travis Scott ones. But it doesn't end there. You've also got an orange nylon tongue accented by sort of a pinky reddy sock liner. Oh, and you can't forget the sort of kiwi green midsole and the dark navy outsole. The Air Jordan 1 Biohack is an insane sneaker, and for anyone who's a fan of this sort of color scheme, I think you're gonna love this shoe. The tentative release date of this shoe is September 5th for a retail price of $170, and I can almost guarantee that this shoe is gonna be very hyped up and probably pretty limited. So if you want a pair, make sure to stay up to date on the release information, because I think a lot of people will be going for this pair. And then finally, rounding off today's video, we've got a release date for the Air Jordan Dior collection. Now before you get excited, this date does seem to be primarily only for the apparel collection and not for the shoes. After being pushed back for months, it looks like the Air Jordan Dior clothing collection will be releasing on July 8th. The collection seemingly includes a mix of casual wear as well as professional wear. You have things like basketball shorts as well as sports jackets. And the colorway of the entire collection collection seems to be limited to white, cream, gray, and black. Now, I'm not really a high fashion guy. I don't own any Louis Vuitton, I don't own any Gucci, well, with the exception of a pair of dress shoes, but that's about it. So this apparel collection, while I think it looks good, it doesn't appeal to me, and it doesn't make me want to run out and spend thousands of dollars on it. But I do have to say that it is cool to see sports brands like Air Jordan collaborate with high fashion brands like Dior. It's really cool to see collaborations that you would never really expect. But back to the release stuff, even though it is possible that July 8th could only be for the clothing collection, I think it is important to make sure to stay vigilant just in case the shoes happen to drop as well. The release procedure for this collection is also pretty interesting, and it's going to be done entirely through online raffles. So if you're like myself and you're only interested in the Air Jordan 1 High Dior and the Low Dior, make sure to stay tuned because it's very possible that if the shoes don't release on July 8th with the entire collection, they could release very close to it. But with that, we wrap up Weekly Heat for this week. Now I would love to know your thoughts on all of these stories in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.